Welcome back to ShotGaming.com Steam Shots. This week we're looking at the last 5 games released on Steam. We have Tony Hawk's Twisted Metal Survivors, Crazy Mario Taxi 64, Grandma's Special Tea, literally just 2 random words, and Bungie's Dead. Long live Bungie. Well, let's start the show. Motor Doom is a rockin' ripoff of Tony Hawk with roguelike elements.
Wrong!
Alright, it's not a ripoff. That just makes it sound more dynamic. It is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater though, just mixed with Twisted Metal and Vampire Survivors. The trick system is there, but it's vastly underplayed. Much like Tim Pool, you've been kicked out of the cool kids skate park and sent to fight demons in hell.
Which is an ongoing feud, a beef with Tim Pool.
Unlike Tim Pool, you can actually do moves like flips, grinds, and wall bounces. You can chain them together, and the more points you get, the more pick one of 3 upgrades you can do. While you're pulling off sick moves, the monsters will constantly spawn in. All the time, really great music blasts off. Oh, I mean, that's the exact opposite of Tim Pool's butt rock for landlords.
Boom, 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 boom.
Alright, I said his name enough to legally use him in the thumbnail for hate clicking. But let's focus on the game now. You can shoot automatically or slow down time for precision aiming, which is useful for doing cool Matrix-style 360 attacks. The other character in the demo has a buddy who automatically shoots for you. That's a real ride-or-die friend that'll shoot without asking questions. Well, I'm a little rusty from my PS1 skateboarding days, but eventually I found a good flow to doing tricks again. You really don't need to focus on tricks that much. They have a lot of air correction built in. I mean, that should have took me out, but I'm not complaining. It's more about the style and fun as you clear out enemies. Like Tony Hawk, each stage has challenges, collecting bonus letters, or unique goals like doing a wheelie over these pentagrams. I bet Tim Pool's gonna call this demonic leftism. The full version offers more riders, levels, and power-ups, along with a meta that has you unlocking upgrades for each rider. This is a fun remix of games that shouldn't work together, but it does. I get a strange rocket jockey vibe from this, and I like it. So I purchased the full version. Get out there and raise some hell. Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom is a retro-style 3D platformer where the main character is a wind-up car. This retro oh man, I already said that. Anyways, this homage to Mario 64 has you collecting coins, smashing crates, and exploring a hub-based world full of individual stages. Well, I mean, you see, this isn't a ripoff. That's Mario. Well, not the legal IP of one of the most aggressive copyright claiming corporations in the world. Anyways, the first level is, hey, that's Bomb Bomb Battlefield. I know that, King. Oh man, these guys actually might be in legal trouble here. To throw Nintendo off the scent, the game also has a full Crazy Taxi mode. Imagine Nintendo and Sega hand in hand suing the pants off of this developer. We'll leave that one for the Supreme Court to sort out. Get out of here, Super Thomas. Go collect some more billionaire coins and leave us alone. The movement tech in this game is pretty fancy. You can boost off ramps and use your speed to reach places that are out of the way. Which is handy because you can't jump in this game. I know, right? A Mario game where you don't jump? Well, this sounds like a 5-hour-long YouTube video. Jumplessness aside, it really is inventive platforming and fun to explore. The Crazy Taxi levels have a panic-inducing timer that puts a damper on exploration. But it's pretty generous and not really a problem. Well, that is, unless time limits just trigger your anxiety. Oh man, it makes me so nervous. But I got over it, so you might be able to too. The game has a seemingly endless supply of new things to see and movement tech to discover. The graphics are perfect, the controls are tight, and the humor hits way more than it misses. You can also unlock hats with coins you collect, or just go back to Mario's house and explore his art. Hey, Nintendo, maybe you can try suing some pants onto this guy. The demo is pretty long, and the full game is already out, so guess what? I bought this one too, otherwise I'd add it on my wish list. Wibbloo is an adventure game about getting tea to save your grandma. I'm sure you do something else. I mean, this can't be the whole game. The demo has some lovely artwork and great character designs, with a bunch of lore dumping told through conversations and reading signs. Hey, look at that, you got a jump button. An adventure game with jumping and a platformer without jumping? What a world. You only have a few tasks in the demo. Collect this thing on one end of the map and walk back over to the other side to return it. It's a bit hard to tell what you can interact with, as there's no indication where you can. So I just kind of ended up spamming the interaction button everywhere I went. I fixed the elevator so I could get a vegetable to make soup to give to my abuela. Grandma tells you about the magical tea that will let her cheat death, and then gives you an orb that does, it just ends the demo. I mean, that's it. It's not a great demo, but I did like the artwork. I hope this developer gets some help to flesh out the game and build up some of its mechanics, because right now it just seems like a walk back and forth fetch quest. Hopefully we can check it out on release, but for now, let's move on to the next game. Arcane Blast is a third-person action roguelike. It looks like my current favorite of the genre, Terralesia, but offers some very interesting differences. The biggest is that it supports co-op, a feature I couldn't even imagine how to use. It also has a series of shorter, branching levels instead of one massive 30-minute marathon. It has a primary and secondary attack with a dash and 2 slots for spells. You can get these chests at the end of levels or at shops with your hard-earned coins. The game feels a lot more floaty. You don't really connect with the world or the enemies in it. Big, massive enemies like this guy don't seem to have much weight, and most of the damage you take is just enemies spawning in behind you. The smaller level size means circle strafing and running backwards is a lot harder, but with fewer enemies, your goal is more about blasting them instead of avoiding them. The game has a few quirks I didn't like, and lots of UI issues like things just being way more difficult than they need to be. Well, I can't read any of this. Much like the character, I didn't connect with this one, and my heart remains with Terralesia. Classic Marathon is an early sci-fi first-person epic from Bungie. Released way back in 1994, this game was clearly ahead of its time. And 30 years later, oh good lord, that's a long time. But 30 years later, it's now free and updated to run on modern PCs. This is pretty impressive on its own, as the game was basically the first of its kind and struggled with inventing new design choices, a lot of which are improved for this update. Is it worth playing today? Probably not, unless you have some nostalgia for when your bones didn't ache all the time. It's still worth checking out though, and you can enjoy the whole adventure. However, with limited save points and archaic level designs, it can be a bit of a chore. Surprisingly, the multiplayer still works and is a lot of fun to check out. I can imagine a bunch of retirement homes throwing death matches for this one. Less interesting is how Bungie was absolutely done dirty by the CEO and its investors, with over 200 layoffs because Destiny 2 wrapped up after a record-breaking, nearly decade-long run. You made the company a ton of money, and the reward for hard work is usually more hard work, or in the case of the game industry, just layoffs. Gameplay-wise, the jump to modern controls kind of breaks this game. The AI just doesn't understand circle strafing, which wasn't practical or maybe even possible in the original. But I wouldn't know. I was just a little teeny tiny baby when the game came out, not currently an elderly person careening towards death. Existential dread aside, if the game's still free, go ahead and grab it. But maybe check out the System Shock remake made by Night Dive. It's pretty great. Well, that wraps up another episode of Steam Shots. It's been an expensive one. I bought 2 of the games we've covered so far. That's always better than not finding anything worth playing, though. If you found the new game from the show, go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment, and tell us what you got. If you want to see what the next 5 games are, just subscribe. That's always free, too. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.